guys, it's Ebird Online and I'm back with another review from this week's 90 Day Fiance. And guys, I was wondering when this couple would finally pop up. And this is our only reoccurring couple from previous seasons. Yes, that's right, we're going to be talking about Ariela and Biniyam. And so for those of you who don't know who Ariela and Biniyam are, lucky you. And so I've been flapping my gums about Ariela and Biniyam for, I don't know, 2 or 3 seasons now. So I've got loads of other videos on this relationship. So I've made a special playlist which is Ariela, Biniyam and the red flags. And so I'm going to link that in information down below. Or if you go to my page, you'll find it under playlists. And so that will give any of you who are new to this couple a complete breakdown on everything I've said about them before. And guys, there's been quite a bit. But guys, I must confess, I do hold some sort of reverence for the union of Ariela and Biniyam. And I'll explain the reasons now for my thought process. Even though with some of the viewers they're an unpopular couple, they are in essence what 90 Day Fiance is all about. One party is looking for either money or the bright lights of America, and the other's trawling around the 4 corners of the developing world, seeking out new experiences, or maybe to taste, like, a different culture, or sometimes quite simply a good-looking mate. They say that money is the root of all evil, but it's the nucleus of all 90 Day Fiance couples, and money plays a big part in this relationship. And then finally, we have overbearing and rather too interested families. And just for good measure, we have the ubiquitous unplanned pregnancy. Ladies and gentlemen, I hereby announce that Ariela and Biniyam are the quintessential 90 Day Fiance relationship. For want of a better word, they're a producer's wet dream. Guys, prove me wrong. But just before you do, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Smash it, press it, hit it, caress it. Subscribe, my friends, subscribe. And don't forget to smash the like button if you enjoy the video. And so without further ado, I give you Ariela and Biniyam, part 159. So guys, Ariela and Biniyam are back in Ethiopia. What? Back in Ethiopia? Back living in Ethiopia? Yep, back living in Ethiopia. You remember the place that Ariela said she would never ever go again as long as she lived. The whole family is now back there. But not for long, because when we first see them this season, they're walking through the market and Ariela's as pleased as punch because finally Binny's K1 visa has been approved and he has his passport, so they can finally begin their life in the USA. And as they walk through the market, Ariela said to Binny, "I worked so hard to get this visa." "Did you, Ari? Who paid for it?" And we all know the answer to that. Dr. Weinberg, Ariela's father. And Binny confesses he's yet to tell his family and friends about the big move. And Ariela said, I think quite flippantly, "I don't think they'll be mad because there are loads of opportunities for you over there." Ariela, "I think they'll be mad because they haven't got time to say goodbye properly. And also they realise they won't have chance to see their nephew grow up." And Ariela continues, "I'm an Italian Jew from New Jersey, and I think if you understood more where I'm from, you'd understand me more." "Really, Ariela? I would be prepared to bet every single thing that I own that him knowing where you're from will not make one jot of difference to the problems that you have in your relationship. I myself have been to New Jersey on many occasions, and I understand neither you nor your thought processes. So I think that will make very little difference." And so Binny's an Orthodox Christian, and he's a part-time dancer, martial art expert, singer, and general all-round fuckabout. He sets an awful lot of stall out on his religion. Oh, but Binny, going to church no more makes you a Christian than standing in a garage makes you a car. And so we take a trip down memory lane, and they explain how they met at a bus stop, and that 3 months after meeting, Ariela discovered she was pregnant. And guys, we later found out that really she very likely got pregnant on purpose. Her ex-husband who visited last season, and again guys, go back to my older videos if you haven't seen this, but her ex-husband didn't want to have kids, and so she left him and travelled to Ethiopia and got pregnant by Binny whilst she was still in a relationship with her ex-husband. The idea that baby Avi was an accident is kind of a stretch for me to imagine. And Ariela tells us that they've had some amazing times together and terrible times. Unfortunately for 90 Day Fiance viewers, we've only been party to the terrible times. I can't remember even one amazing time. And so you'll remember last season, Ariela had to leave Ethiopia very quickly because baby Avi had a hernia, and she went back to America with him and without Biniyam so that baby Avi could have surgery. And she lets us know the distance was very bad for their relationship. But Biniyam tells us that he was extremely scared when Ariela left because his ex-wife, who was American as well, left under similar circumstances to go back and see her family in America, and Binny never saw or heard of her since, and he hasn't seen his son for about 3.5, 4 years. And Binny explains that he was so scared that Ariela would do the same thing that he decided to turn off his phone and ignore her calls when she too went to America. That makes sense. He also turned their home into a party house and a recording studio. And they had a nanny, who we'll call Mimi the Supergrass, and she told Ariela all about the girls that were frequenting the house whilst Ari wasn't there, and all about the clubs that Biniyam was going to, and his brand new party life. And Biniyam tells production, Ariela thinks that I cheated because I turned off my phone. No shit, Sherlock. That's usually what cheats do, Biniyam. They turn their phone off in order not to get caught. Oh guys, Biniyam's the kind of guy who you can catch red-handed and he'd turn around and say, no, that's not my hand. He's full of it. And so as they continue to walk through the market, they discuss the fact that Binny has to tell his friends and his family. And Binny says that he's very nervous. As well he should be. None of Binny's friends or family like Ariela at all, and I think this is primarily because Ari and Binny argue, and then Binny goes back and crap-mouths Ariela to his sisters Mimi and Wish and to all of his friends. None of Binny's friends or family think this relationship can work, and they all think it's pretty much the worst relationship they've ever seen. They must be getting this information from somewhere. Maybe it's Mimi the Supergrass, or more likely it's Biniyam himself. And so Ariela decides to ask Binny the $64 million question. And she said, I feel like you've really changed, but are you ready to marry me? And Biniyam said, why would I come to America if I didn't love you and if I didn't want to marry you? And I can't help but think, because of your child, because of baby Avi. And Binny said, I think we'll both be okay now. We've both grown up. Have you guys? I've yet to see any evidence of that. And then Ariela said, we're absolute opposite. We're like day and night. We're like the sky and the earth. Guys, for whatever reason, I don't see it for this couple. I never really did. And so next time we catch up with this couple, Ari is in a hotel room with Mimi the Supergrass and baby Avi. He's really grown and he looks super cute still. Ariela decides to speak to her mum Janice and tells her she's excited to come home. And she said now, Binny's going to have to deal with my family instead of me having to deal with his. Thus confirming my theory that baby Avi is the most mature person in their small family. And Ari's mum said, well, we don't really criticise Binny. If we do, it's constructive criticism. And again, I find this quite childish from Ariela. She doesn't get on with his family and she needs support, but she's halfway hoping that Binny will then feel what she's felt whilst in Ethiopia. But for what it's worth, Ari's mum, Janice, is absolutely excellent in my view. She's a nurse and she's hugely emotionally intelligent. And she's very in tune to what Binny might need. And she wants to keep this young family together. She's one of the few Westerners that's gone abroad and hasn't turned her nose up at standards in Ethiopia. Regardless of whether Binny realises it or not, Janice has saved their relationship on several occasions. And Janice actually said to Binny, even if you guys split up, I will personally make a promise to you that you will never not be in touch with your son. We will never keep him from you. And I think that takes a really big person. It's absolutely massive for Binny. Somebody from somebody else's family has his back 100%. Yep, Janice is definitely a force for good. And then we go over to see Binny, and he's in the studio with his friends. And he's gearing up to tell them that he's moving in 2 days to the US. And he tells us it's going to be a huge surprise for them. It's not going to be a huge surprise, Binny. It's going to be an awful shock. And so he sits them outside. And he goes all mute, as Binny often does. And one of his friends says, I feel like there's something that you want to tell us. And he said, well, yeah, I'm moving to the US in a couple of days. It's because Ariela wants a brand new start. And as per usual, he blames the whole thing on Ari. Why does he have to do it? He's painting it as if he doesn't want to go and it's only Ariela. And his friend tells production, I can't digest this news. I listen to Ariela and Biniyam and they argue like crazy. It's really not the best relationship I've ever seen. And when they sit back down with Binny, they ask, are you moving for Ariela or is it just for baby Avi? And so Binny says, even if I didn't love Ariela, I would still go to the US, as Avi is a gift from God. But I do love Ariela anyway. And guys, even the way he says it, even the way he framed this sentence tells me he's really going for baby Avi. And I wonder, is that going to be enough? And he then lets his friends know that he hasn't told his family. And they said, well, when are you going to tell them? This is really short notice. And he says, well, I think of the video release for my new single, Dancey Dancey. Oh God, I really don't want to hear this song. I really don't. And they wish him good luck. And guys, you may remember Binny's nickname is Baby. And that's because he's the youngest of 7 siblings. Baby by name, baby by nature. Because Binny only ever thinks of himself. He has the worst case of centration that I've known since, well, probably Big Ed. Or maybe Ben Rathbone. He and his friends have been working on music for the past 9 months. And so in essence, he's in a business relationship with them. And with just 2 days' notice, he tells them, it's over, finito, I'm going to the States. And he has no thought for how this is going to impact on them. They've invested in this music business they have with Binny, and now seemingly they're set to lose out. But all Binny can think about is, how can I frame this so it's Ariela's decision and not mine? How very childish. And they finish up by wishing him good luck in telling his family. And next time we see this couple, they're in the hotel room. Binny tells Ari he's nervous about letting his family know he's leaving in 2 days. Ari lets us know that Binny is a serial conflict avoider. Except when it comes to you. Then he doesn't seem to mind. And she continues, I feel very sorry for his friends and family, as it will make them think that he doesn't really care about them. And the couple go off to the video shoot for his new single, Dancey Dancey Tonight. Sorry guys, I forgot the tonight earlier. That makes everything so much better. Oh. And the couple arrive at the video shoot, and Binny's all dressed up like a 1950s teddy boy. I hope he's got his flick knife at the ready. And they walk into the venue, and it looks really nice. There's flowers everywhere. And they wait for people to arrive. First up comes his sisters, Mimi and Wish. And they walk in, and they give Binny a big warm hug. But then they look at Ariela as if she's shit on the bottom of their shoes, and they refuse to hug her. Why, she asks. Because of COVID. Ladies, if Binny's got COVID, then so has Ariela, and vice versa. They live and sleep together. They're being extremely unfriendly. And then Binny's music friends arrive. And then it's time to play the video for Dancey Dancey Tonight. And I've got a feeling it's going to be shouty shouty tonight, and then punchy punchy tonight. But only time will tell. So he plays the video, and the truth be told, it's no Zara. And Binny dances around with Avi as if he doesn't have a care in the world. They elicit dirty looks from his sisters once more, and then they pop some champagne. Everybody's in great spirits, and Binny sits down to tell them the, well, as he calls it, surprise. As I call it, awful shock. And Binny says to his sisters, I'm so sorry, but there's something I've not told you. I've got an American visa, and I'm moving there tomorrow. And Mimi's face is like thunder, and she said, how can you tell us today that you're leaving tomorrow? I can answer that, Mimi. He wanted to try and keep the crime rate low. And Binny said tentatively, well, things are getting better between us. And Mimi shot back, don't pretend you're happy. And both the sisters talk to producers, and they're apoplectic with rage. They tell production she controls him and manipulates him. He tells us he's not happy, and Wish said, I'm really worried when they get to America, because I don't trust her. And so back in the venue, Wish said, it would have been really nice if you'd have given us a heads up that you were going. We're family, and it's a shame you didn't want to tell us. Both of you knew all of this time, and guys, it's kind of true because this visa process is very long. It seems as if the girls didn't even know the visa process was being undertaken. And Mimi said, both of you knew, both of you. And Ariela says to production, I only understood about 30% of what was being said. But it's total bullshit. Oh, Ariela, you only ever understand 30% of what's happening in life. That's no surprise. But it is pretty out of order because it seems like they're blaming her. And Ariela said to them, it's nothing to do with me. I would never tell Binny not to tell his family. And Wish said, we're family, so you should have told us. If you knew he wasn't telling us, you should have done it. You're our family. We treat you like a sister. What? I've never heard anything so laughable in my life, guys. Wish, what sister do you treat her like? Mary Queen of Scots and Queen Elizabeth I, maybe? The two ugly sisters and Cinderella, perhaps? Maybe it's how Regan and Gonriel treat Cordelia. Or perhaps Kate Middleton and Meghan Markle. I could go on, but they do not treat her like a sister. Or not any sisters who like each other. But Ara is absolutely fuming now. And she's clutching onto Binny as she says, well, I'm happy that I'm not going to see you guys anymore. I'm marrying Binny, not you. And at this point, guys, I kind of knew what was going to happen. Because Wish took quite a big gulp of her red wine. Which is what I'd do if I was going to waste the rest of a glass swilling it on somebody. And then she took the glass and she swilled Ariela right in her face. The truth be told, it didn't really make much difference to Ariela's makeup because it's always running down her face anyway. But she was very shocked. And her and Binny jumped up and she said, this is a new experience for me. I'm kind of in shock. And Mimi and Wish rush out of the venue. And it kind of seems as if Mimi's a bit peed off with Wish for throwing the wine. And the girls tell production, we don't like Ariela. She doesn't respect us or him and she's a psycho. They've only got 90 days to make this marriage work and I hope it fails. They have 0% chance of making this marriage work. Well, all I have to say to that is that they're far more optimistic than the Ebird is. And that's where we leave things for this week. And so what does the Ebird make to all of this? Well, as per usual, I don't see this relationship standing the test of time. I just don't. Ariela tells us they're like night and day, or sky and earth. Those things work in conjunction with each other. You guys are like oil and water. You don't mix. I think the main problem stems right from the beginning of the relationship. These guys didn't even know each other when Ariela became pregnant, and there were no good times. I believe that she liked the fact that Biniyam was good looking, and I think that he liked the fact that she was a Westerner and had access to money and America. And because this relationship went along at a rate of knots, Ariela didn't have chance to read the Yelp reviews on Biniyam. Biniyam's a cheat, for want of a better word. He's always up to shady business, and I think that will do for them in the end. Ariela on her part, well, her voice is a crime against everyone's ears. She's always moaning. And I also kind of get the impression that Ariela's always used to getting her own way. Ariela believes that when they get to America, their relationship's going to be so much better. Yeah, right, Ariela. And rivers may run uphill. And water may turn into wine. You are both still the same people. I don't see what's going to change. And so that's my take on the relationship. Guys, let me know what you think. Do you think this can work? But before I go, I just want to talk about something which was pervasive last time we reviewed this couple. And people kept saying, this is fake. These storylines are fake. He's already in America. They're already married. And so on and so forth. That doesn't mean the storyline is fake. That just means the storyline is behind real time, as we might expect. Out of all the relationships from this franchise, this is definitely real. You do not move to another continent for an extended period of time if it's fake. You don't have a baby if it's fake. You can see by the look on his sister's face, they don't like Ariela. And while some of you think this is all drummed up for the camera, I think it's absolutely real. The dislike towards Ariela from his friends and family is palpable at all times. So what I'd also like, guys, what I'd also like you to do is put down below if you think this is a real narrative or if you think this has producer's fingers all over it. For what it's worth, I don't. There's enough drama within their relationship for production to just sit back and let nature take its course. So yes, please let me know in comments down below and I'll get on with my next video. Please don't forget to look out for my playlist, Ariela and Biniyam'S Red Flags, and that will be in information down below. And don't forget to subscribe and to like and all of that good stuff. Thank you so much for listening. You've been listening to Ebird Online and I bid you good day.